Now this right here is lobster, and this is lobster, and yes, even this is lobster. And it just so happens Maine, the lobster capital of the world, prepares crazy dishes like these, as well as many others. And since I love eating so much, I made it my goal to eat and rate every lobster dish they have, to determine which one uses lobster the best way possible. We'll begin with the simpler stuff, and slowly ramp up to some of the bizarre combinations. So in order to prepare ourselves, let's begin with the classic lobster roll. Simple, yes. But to spice things up, we'll be trying this dish at various different price points throughout the video to see which one is the best bang for your buck. Now our first lobster roll comes to about $30, which is pretty average for this meal, and I decided to pair it with a lobster stew.
Pretty good, it's got some good char. Oh. I'm still eating that. Thick, lobstery. I've married the two.
The roll by itself had a good meat quality, but really needed that stew to carry the flavor. I'd give the roll 6 lobsters out of 10, while giving the stew a modest 7 out of 10. Now our next stop brings us to a place with a little more interesting interpretation on lobster. At this restaurant, we first tried a lobster quesadilla. It comes out in a good stack with the meat peeking through the cracks. I will say, I had expectations for this as a quesadilla connoisseur, but they really skimped out on your boy with the meat. It was just a normal quesadilla with some lobster bits thrown in. Felt like an afterthought. I'd give this 4 out of 10 lobsters. But we couldn't leave without trying their lobster grilled cheese. Listen, I know I'm thick, and I normally don't eat this much at restaurants, but I just had to do it for science, you feel?
I think it's the same thing as the quesadilla, just in bread form.
And yeah, that was pretty much it. The execution of the lobster grilled cheese was very similar to the quesadilla with a tad more flavor. Let's give this 5 lobsters out of 10. Even though we had a little rocky start, things were about to look up because the next place ended up being one of our favorite restaurants of the whole trip. It's called Two Cats, and they really live up to their name with the cat theming all around the restaurant. But that's not why we're here, as we have 2 more unique meals to tackle. The first being a lobster benedict. I've never even had a regular benedict before, so I wasn't sure what to expect.
What is a benedict exactly? Is it just like egg and bread? Yeah, that's pretty good. It's definitely more lobster than the quesadilla. Very good.
Yes, sir. A strong entry to our lobster bucket list. Such juicy pieces in flavor, like me. I'm gonna have to give this sucker 9 lobsters out of 10. And to continue the eggy theme, I also ordered a lobster omelette.
I can see what the cross section looks like. I gotta like unflap it a little. It's a decent amount. Oh, okay, that one. That's more on that one. I mean, lobster and egg. It's still pretty good. I think I like the benedict a little more because it's more intricate, more unique, but still good.
Let me tell you, Maine did your boy right with this joint. And again, I just love the cat theming. Lobster omelet, I give you a clean 8 out of 10. Now, my favorite thing about Maine is not just the food, but with how they like to name their restaurants. Like this lunch spot called Lunch.
They really just called it lunch.
And this bar just called Bar.
They really just called it the bar.
And this dinner spot called, well, dinner.
I don't get it.
We actually ate this one, but they had no lobster, so we'll just move on. So we've had a $30 lobster roll, but what would a more expensive one look like? We picked one up for about $40 to find out just that.
Nice toast on the bun, I'll say that. I think I got spicy butter. I don't taste it. It's an extra $1. Okay. Yeah, lobster's pretty good. Bread's good. I think it's like a hint of more sauce. But pretty solid. Better than the average one.
9 lobsters out of 10. Definitely an upgrade from the previous one. But I wonder what the most expensive lobster roll would look like. We head back to the restaurants at another great spot where they serve lobster poutine. Basically lobster mixed with fries, cheese curds, and bisque. I'm sorry, Canada.
Okay, so right now we're in Kennebunkport, Maine. I don't know how we ended up here. The lobster bisque sauce is really good. So I think poutine naturally has like a gravy on it. I think they replace that with a lobster bisque sauce, which brings out the lobster aroma more. I feel like a lot of things are just like food, lobster slapped on, but this is like kind of an actual lobster incorporated dish. I might put this as like top 3 things I've had so far.
Now this is the first combo dish I've seen where they actually understood how to use the lobster, as they did an amazing job marrying it with the source material. Give this a 10 out of 10. Oh my. Now in order to burn off some calories, we decided to tackle some side quests in Maine, like waking up at 5 a.m. to go to the national park to try and catch the sunrise at the very top, only to be met with some clouds. Nice. I then took some candid shots of me on some nature to make it seem like I'm remotely athletic. Then we went to the LL Bean store where we were met with a giant shoe outside.
That's a big glove.
Inside the store, you can find various apparels and shotguns. This is the most American thing I've seen. Got hungry and ate at a sandwich shop, accompanied by this very rough close-up of my face. You're welcome. Speaking of food, how about we hit up the most insane lobster restaurant in all of Maine?
So up there is one of the most anticipated stops of the trip. I consider like the lobster mecca of Portland because they serve a wide variety of lobster dishes. So yeah, let's see what we would come back with. Why are you cringing?
You're so cute.
And this right here is where I go on an absolute tear of dishes, like the lobster mac and cheese, which was pretty standard, good, but nothing too ambitious. 5 lobsters out of 10. But then we get a little freaky with a lobster taco, which is made of lobster, lettuce, and this deep fried shell of some sorts. The fillings were good, but the shell was oddly stale, which gave it some dull texture. Lobster taco, let's give you a 7 out of 10. But the craziest of the trio was this lobster corn dog. Now it doesn't have the most appetizing shape to it, looks like a dead rat, but surprisingly the tastiest of the 3 we've had here. The shell was just normal corn dog, but the meat inside was nice, warm, and steamy. Also paired well with a side of garlic mayo. Don't even say it. 9 out of 10 lobsters for ya. So far we've had a $30 and $40 lobster roll. But what does the most expensive lobster roll taste like? Now I didn't even want this to begin with, but my fiance kept insisting I try it. The price of this roll skyrockets to $70. That's the price of a steak. That's the price of a video game. I was hoping for some fireworks or candles for such a ludicrous cause, but I guess they ran out.
So this might single-handedly be...
She dropped it.
Okay. I guess the freshest lobster has was like.
Now the roll has some big chunks in there, and it did taste fresh, but I don't know. I feel like they should have done more with the thing. Throw some gold on it. Get creative with it. Spit in it. 6 out of 10 lobsters. But if this is the most expensive lobster roll, then how would it compare to the absolute cheapest one? Now Maine's food identity revolves heavily around their lobster. But if you ask what a close second was, it would be their blueberries. So with that in mind, we decided to try our hands on a blueberry cheesecake. We found this cool place off the side of a road where not only did they have a huge selection of cakes, but it was the way you buy them that really caught my eye. You see, there isn't a single worker in there, but instead it's built on a trust system where you pay for what you get through a QR code. What's also cool is that the wall is full of post-it notes from previous customers, and I decided to participate with my own little scripture. Now if you ever come here and find this note, send me a screenshot of you holding it and I'll give you a little prize. Here's how the blueberry cheesecake was.
So let's get a fresh little scoop here. Now, I am not the biggest fan of cheesecake. It's pretty rich, unlike me. I also shouldn't be talking a mouthful.
I'd give this a solid 8 out of 10 blueberries. Now when it comes to our lobster dishes, they all been pretty savory. But what about something a little more sweet? Like, I don't know, a lobster lollipop?
Let's give it a taste real quick. Ew, what the?
I'm just kidding, it's just strawberry flavor.
Not that much flavor. I think I would prefer if it was lobster flavor.
7 out of 10 lobsters. However, I did actually find something called a lobster pop. It was basically just lobster on a stick,
It's like a naked version of the corn dog I had earlier.
which is probably the closest thing you can get to a lollipop. 8 out of 10 lobsters. Then we head over to a local bar because I discovered they sold the cheapest lobster roll ever. Like a normal roll is about $30. So how about we slash that price? This place serves a pair of lobster rolls at $22, which means a single roll is just over $10. What an absolute steal. Jam-packed with meat, sauce, and crazy affordable. And it's at a bar of all places. I even got a second serving. 10 out of 10. Mwah. Now we visit the absolute pinnacle of this entire trip. The whole reason why this video was made in the first place. Ben and Bill's ice cream. To my knowledge, the only place in the world that serves the infamous lobster ice cream.
Funny thing is, I called the place a few months ago and it was while supplies last. Fast forward 3 months later and we're about to see if this is all for nothing. Hi, how are you? Do you guys still have the lobster ice cream by chance? Can I just do 1 lobster ice cream in a cone, please? Thank you. Out of curiosity, what's like mixed in it? Is it just like vanilla and lobster?
It's butter flavored with lobster.
Awesome.
Just like butter pecan.
Awesome. Thank you so much. They say it's like some like butter pecan with just like lobster pieces. I'll eat with my little friend over here. It's very hard. Whoa. That was lobster. Ooh, okay. The crazy part is that like for like first like minute was just like regular butter pecan ice cream, pretty enjoyable. Then the lobster taste, the fishy taste kind of cuts through. Ooh. Okay, let me get one more in there. Is that it? Okay. Oh, it's like frozen lobster too. I'll work on finishing this.
What an insane experience. I was hoping the ice cream itself would have been more infused with the lobster instead of just, being toppings. But I'll take what I can get. Would I get it again? Fuck no. 0 out of 10 lobsters. And with that, my belly is full, my wallet's empty. I can safely say I'm good on lobster for quite a while. Hey, thank you so much for watching and shout out to all the members. If you want to see what we ate in our last trip, then click this video here.